So I got a request to talk about the new art in High School DxD, and I like this idea because I see a lot of people in my comments bash Season 4 because of the new art style when they don't really know the full story. So I'll try to cover as much as I can, and then we'll play a little game at the end. The first thing I should talk about is why they changed the art. So the first 3 seasons of High School DxD were made by the studio T&K, but then all of a sudden when Season 4 was released, it looked different. It had a more generic and cartoony style to it, and this of course made a lot of people feel a certain type of way. Some people liked it, but most people didn't. And for some reason, because of the new art, people don't want to watch Season 4 of High School DxD. And I used to be one of these people. When I first got to Season 4 of High School DxD, I watched it, but it took me a while to get used to the new art. And I really hate to say this, but every time I would rewatch High School DxD, I would skip Season 4. The series ended at Season 3 for me. It wasn't until one random rewatch I decided to watch Season 4 again. And I realized that it's actually just as good as all the other seasons. I get it's an adjustment. It's weird seeing the art style and character designs change, but if you're able to put that aside, you'll see that Season 4 is actually pretty good. But why did they change the art? So at this point, it shouldn't be a secret that they messed Season 3 up. Season 3 went away from the light novel, and it changed a lot of things that didn't need to be changed. Of course, I've already talked about the Sona rating game being skipped, and then them brushing over some important details, but the major problem seems to be the last 3 episodes. If you watch my High School DxD is mid video, then you'll know how I feel about these last 3 episodes. I really don't like them. They feel rushed, the pacing is off, they're boring, and they just feel so out of place. But I'm not the only one who feels this way. The light novel fans really don't like these seasons, and really don't like Season 3. I talked to a few light novel fans, and a lot of them bash Season 3. But that's not even it. Even the author of High School DxD, the original creator, really didn't like how much they changed. So the fans didn't like what they did to Season 3, and the author didn't like what they did to Season 3. So basically no one liked it, or no one liked those 3 episodes. So the creator of High School DxD dropped T&K, obviously, and I really don't blame him for this. I don't even know why he would choose them to begin with, because they're pretty much known for making a bunch of stinkers, like School Days and Redo Healer. Even now, the only anime that they've made that can be considered good is High School DxD. But yeah, he dropped them and went to Passione. They seem to be fairly new, because when I was looking into them, they haven't worked on that many anime. But yeah, the creators switched from T&K to Passione, and obviously with a new studio, you're gonna have a different art style. And this new studio really tried their best to fix what Season 3 messed up. That's the whole point of Episode 0, but they still did have some holes in their final product, but you really can't even blame them. If you want someone to blame for the art style change, just blame T&K. They're the ones that messed everything up. So yeah, that's why the art style changed out of nowhere. To summarize, High School DxD switched up the art styles because the original studio messed up the series and the author didn't like this. So he went to someone else. I think anyone would do the same in that situation. Season 4 is one of the more light novel accurate seasons we've got so far. So I kind of think that people who say it's bad are just lying to themselves, or they just can't stand the art. So what is different about the new art? Well, they changed a lot about it. The colors of characters are different. For example, Zenobia has a completely different hair color. It's a different shade of blue. And even Rias' hair looks different too. It looks like a different shade of red. So the colors and shading is a lot different. They also changed a lot of the character designs. Cyborg and Volley are the ones that come to mind. I mean, Cyborg put on like 100 pounds of muscle, and Volley has a completely different fit on. But the main characters all still have the same design, but they do still look a little different. I think the most noticeable feature about these characters is their eyes. Their eyes look so weird sometimes. Like Kiba and Akino, I think they have the worst eyes. They look so creepy, and they don't look natural at all. Also, the characters' hair. All of them have like no texture to it. That was one of the better things about the original art style, was the characters' hair and how they all looked real. In this season, their hair just looks a little off, and again, it just looks like it has no texture to it. But the most important question of them all is this new art style bad? And I wouldn't say it's bad, but I do think it's a downgrade. I really don't care about them making the characters look more close to how they do in the light novel. I still think it's not as good as the original art style. But I don't really hate it because the anime itself is still good. The animation, the story, the fights are all really good in this season. It's just impossible for me not to like the season just based on the art. And if you are one of those people who refuse to rewatch the season because of the art style change, I would recommend watching it because it's also one of the most entertaining seasons. I remember rewatching it and laughing at every single joke they told. Like, this season is actually funny. They're all funny, but this might be the funniest season. I would have to rewatch it. They really did do a good job with Season 4. But now let's get to our game. I'm just gonna go through the characters and tell you if I like their new or old art style better on them. I'll even keep a score at the top so we can see whose art style is really better. You can play along if you like. So the obvious place to start is with Issei. And I actually don't hate how they did Issei in Season 4. He pretty much looks the same. and it's the same for his armor. I actually think his armor looks better in season 4. So just to be controversial, I'll say Issei looks better in the new art, mainly just because I think his armor looks better. Especially the Cardinal Crimson promotion, it just looks beautiful. The next character is Rias, and Rias had a pretty bad downgrade. Her hair color looks off and it just has like no texture to it. It looks like a child drew her, but the child doesn't know how to shade, so he ended up with a result like that. She also looks like 10 years younger. It's just not a good design. I don't know what it is, but she always has this weird expression on her face, even when she's not supposed to. So yeah, that point definitely goes to the old art. Next up is Akano, and Akano might actually have the worst new design. Like, this is really bad. Again, her eyes look super uncomfortable. She looks like a doll, completely dead inside. The more I look at her, the more uncomfortable I get. That point easily goes to the old art. Then we got Asya, and Asya doesn't look bad at all. They did a really good job with her. I still prefer the old one, but this one isn't bad. Still gotta give the point to the old art though. But I will say I do like her eyes more in the new art, which is surprising. I don't like how far apart they are in the old art. Next we got Zenobia, and I'm not a big fan of Zenobia's new style either. The thing that bothers me the most is that dyed part of her hair, it switches from her right side to her left side. Like, I noticed that immediately. But I also just prefer the darker blue. It just looks a lot better. Another point for the old art. Next up we got Cyborg, and Cyborg looks so much better in this new style. I'm so glad they changed how he looks. He was way too skinny in season 3. When you think of someone who dedicates their whole life to working out and becoming stronger, you don't picture that skinny tall guy that they had in season 3. You picture this extremely muscular guy that they showed in season 4. So there's a point for season 4. Kiba is another character with a bad downgrade. His hair looks weird, just not a good color for his hair. And again, he has those doll-like eyes like Akano. Akano makes me uncomfortable, but Kiba just looks creepy. The doll eyes plus that smile he always has on his face just isn't good. The Prince Charming vibe is completely gone. Next up is my GOAT Azazel, and I think they did Azazel really good. Besides for Cyborg, I think he had the best character design. He looks good in both seasons, but I think I slightly preferred the new art for Azazel. I mean, his outfit is a lot better, so that helps. But yeah, I don't really know what it is, but something about him in season 4, I just like more. Then we got Rasuisa, and she has one of my favorite character designs in the entire series. I really like her battle armor, but I think it's at its best in season 4. I also always prefer the white hair over the gray hair. So yeah, that's another point for season 4. They really did do a good job at making all the side characters have a good design still. But last up we got Volley, and I know this is going to be a hot take, but I don't actually hate the crop shirt that Volley has. It grows on me every single day. The more I look at it, the more I think it's actually not that bad. With that being said though, he still looks a lot better in the old art, no doubt about it. Again, I do like his hair more in the new art, white over gray, but his character design was still better in the old art. He was one of the best dressed characters. Those are all the ones I'm going to do. Now let's count up the score and see who won. That shouldn't really be a surprise. Most of the characters look better with the old art style, and I really added characters that I knew I liked better in the season 4 art just to make the score a little closer. But yes, most characters look better in the old art, but that's something we can really control. It's not like the art style changed for no reason. The creator really had every reason to switch studios. I think it's a little silly to hate on season 4 just because of its art style. It really is one of the more interesting seasons of High School DxD, and it still has a lot to offer. This video was recommended to me by Johnson Hauser, so thank you for that. I've been busy this week, so I haven't been as active on my channel as I would like to be. You can still expect weekly videos from me, but I might not be able to respond to all your comments anymore. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.